Tune in Monday through Friday here on Money for Lunch. And check out our website at moneyforlunch.com.
Hey, guys, we're back. My next guest, Matthew Oakes. Matthew currently serves as the chairman of the board, president, and chief executive officer of Direct Insite Corp. Mr. Oakes shapes the corporate vision of Direct Insights and is focused on driving strategic business growth by combining strong execution skill sets with aggressive performance measurements. He leads the organization in the development and execution of all business processes, operations, and drives constant improvement initiatives with a focus on growing the business and assuring a high level of customer satisfaction. Matthew Oakes, welcome to Money for Lunch.
Afternoon, Bert. Thank you for having me.
You bet. All right, so let's talk about this. Tell us a little bit about Direct Insights. What do you guys do? What's it all about?
Sure. The background is that we come from the automation and kind of transformation, get rid of paper, and keep everybody from printing a piece of paper and then turn around scanning it back into another document and scanning it into electronic files. So we're trying to, take out the really heavy pieces in the chain, really in the financial back office of major corporations. And so we really have an accounts receivable workflow offering and accounts payable workflow offering. And its primary value is eliminate paper, provide extra working capital management, transform and automate so there's no human error, and really give businesses different dashboards and ability to leverage and use their money in different ways. So a financial services organization with a technology twist focused on working capital management is probably the best way to describe us.
Gotcha. All right. Let's talk about this, because based on your business model, where are you currently finding opportunities?
I think businesses in general, especially large companies, and we thrive well in large shared services environments, companies that have multiple divisions with multiple companies in those divisions that have a lot of disparate financial systems. Where we're seeing opportunity right now is that companies are looking to implement tools. I think the old business process outsourcing model where you hire someone to come in and run your entire organization has run its course. And so we're seeing large enterprises look to implement tools using their own people and become more efficient and kind of have subject matter expertise stay inside the four corporate walls or behind the firewall. So where we've seen the opportunity is building modules on the front end and back end of our automation processes. For example, a new product we released called VendorLinks Express, which is really a company profile vendor management tool, sits on the front end. It's where your vendors would come in, register, upload their documents, become a certified provider to you as the organization. And we also see it on the back end, where discount capture and or supply chain finance are becoming tools for the treasury departments of these large organizations, and they want that automated too. So just automating this entire process. To that end, we just released a new financial services offering called Paybox. And Paybox is a really unique offering. It takes our traditional accounts receivable processing that we do for IBM globally, and we customize it so we could use it in a banking application, a white label banking application. Banks have what they call lock boxes where they get all their big checks and all their big deposits, and we're trying to electronify that process where the bank will provide the invoicing service for their large companies they're trying to become more closely tied to, and then those payments, instead of going all over the place, are going to come right back to the banking partner. So helping them increase that lockbox business, but electronically, because it's their second largest revenue source in the banking industry.
Wow, that's amazing. You know what? That is really amazing. I find that to be really a smart, innovative way of helping those banking clients. That's very sharp. I love that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Right, it's interesting in that. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish up.
No, I was going to say it's interesting. The number one revenue source for a bank is loans, and then it's check processing and lockbox services. And they've seen a real degradation over the last 4 or 5 years. As people are paying now with credit cards and ACH and wire and all these different formats, and all the money's getting further away from the people that actually value the money the most, which is your banking partner.
Right.
So we feel like we're a first mover into this. We can take something that we've built for some large corporations worldwide, implement it on a more localized scale on an individual customer basis on behalf of the bank, and it really ties them up with the financial departments, helps grow their lockbox business and deposits, shortens, the DSO, and really tightens that cash management cycle. So we think as a first mover, we've got a really innovative product, and we're really hammering it hard right now, getting it out there.
So let me ask you this. What's your go-to market strategy with this brand?
Well, a real aggressive 6-month outreach campaign. So webinars, white papers. a lot of the stuff everybody does, analyst articles, press releases, blog articles, the targeted conferences, the one-on-one meetings, and of course, social media. But the good news about this is that, you got a pretty set target, right? There's 50 to 100 banks in the country that really can use this service. So you can get very focused, very deep in a channel and then really build that value proposition. And, the nice thing about banks and what I like about this space is that it's not only very strictly defined from a regulatory standpoint and what they can do and what they can't do, but that also inhibits them. So they've got to find a solution that works in a PCI certified environment, or that, maybe Perry Johnson ISO certified. And so we've done all that background work. So I just see it as a real dovetail first mover into this space, and I think we're going to have a lot of success. We've got a lot of early indications of a lot of interest in the offering. It's been a paper process. It's a real pain. It's something they're losing from a top-line revenue standpoint. So, yeah, very excited about it. Go-to-market is hammer, 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 the size of company we are, use everything available, get the message out, be very crisp, not only in your delivery of the message, but then also what the product is and how you'll deploy it and what the benefit is. So very quick ROI.
Yeah, you know what? I think something that is going to play into your favor is, as you said, there's only like 100 players, that you're going to go after, and that's going to allow you to be very aggressive and really focus your attention on these 100 players. Your dream list, if you will, it should get you some very quick results.
Yep, I agree. And we're seeing the quick results. We signed one of the top 3 global banks here about a year ago, and we're deploying their first customer. We're going to go live in Q3. So, really what I'm really focused on is not just the banks, but who are the people that perform the consulting services to the banks, right, that are looking for revenue streams. And so, there's a multi-level marketing and pitch approach to this thing. Getting that first bank live and having the evidence case is what you need to get some momentum going. And then, the product is very straightforward, very robust, very scalable. So I'm very excited about the offering.
You know what? You're getting me excited about the offering, because I think if I was a bank partner, I would be all over this. I mean, because, as you already said, they've lost so much revenue with things like PayPal and all this other stuff that's happening.
Sure.
And now you have Bitcoin and Google Pay and all this other stuff that's just eroding that share of their market. Yeah,
that's very true. And if you think about this in an entirely different way as well, not only are they becoming more competitive to retain their own customers, but they're looking to poach them from other players. And one thing that this type of system does is it really makes you sticky inside of the customer that you have. So if you take this to the next level and say, let me give away this invoicing service, right, because I'm paying a transaction fee for it, but I'm making so much more on that DSO, right, on having that overnight money in really large corporations. I think banks are going to have to. The great news about banks is banks not only know where the money is because they have it, but they go to where it's not and where they're trying to find it. And so I think this type of offering is a no-brainer, and I think it'll help them tighten not just their cash management cycles, but also the relationships with key customers that they can't afford to have somebody else poach. So they got to have the state-of-the-art offering, and they've got to be first mover.
All right, so you're launching this Q3.
Yep.
So I think this is going to be great. And let me ask you this: how does all this translate into the value for Direct Insite shareholders?
Well, number one, it's a great revenue opportunity growing out of my core business. So, as I've said in other interviews that I've done, we're not doing something completely innovative and out of the box for us. We've been doing accounts receivable and accounts payable processing for the IBMs, the Siemens, the Hewlett-Packards, the Royal Dutch Shells of the world for the last 5 or 6 years. So I'm taking a core competency on the latest level of the application, Generation 4. We're releasing it directly to a set group of customers. So that's that core business that we're accentuating, using something that we've made, making it better, and then going after a defined vertical. Number two, it's a recurring SaaS model. So this is the gift that keeps on giving, right? It's not a one-time shot of revenue. It's monthly. It's click fee, right? It's a new product, but a functional extension coming out of an existing product suite, which I think that any really good scalable company that when they were in their infancy stage had to figure out how to do. And I think the good news is that I have a lot of really strong individual companies in my vendor network. And we as an organization are starting to put not only the AR, but the AP together with the AR. So if you think about it, I do AP processing for Siemens and I do AR processing for IBM. Now when IBM sends Siemens an invoice and Siemens decides to pay it, it's all inside my closed loop system. So this kind of robust network effect, included now with what the banks are doing, gives me access. The banks really give me access to a lot larger set of companies I might not traditionally have access to. And so that's how I'm going to translate the value and get this thing humming.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Matthew, I think that that's a home run. I'm excited for your company, Direct Insights, because again, I think, as I said earlier in the segment, I think it's a home run. It sounds good. Looking forward to having you back, maybe if not later this year, early part of next year, and give us a report on how all this worked out.
I hope I'm so busy I can't take your call, but I got a feeling we'll be speaking. I'm looking forward to it. And thank you very much for the time today. I appreciate that very much. Nice to be able to get our message out.
You bet. All righty.
Thank you.
Guys, great stuff there from CEO, Chairman of the Board, Matthew Oakes. DirectInsights.com is the website. And I don't know. I think that they've hit on a gold mine there. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back right after this.